Good morning. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I'd like to welcome you all to Congregation Beth-El in Indianapolis and to our Shabbat morning services. I am Rabbi Dennis Sasso, and I'm accompanied on the bima by Cantor Melissa Cohen and Charles Manning at the organ. I would like to extend a special welcome to our B'nai Mitzvah, Aiden and Tyler Cohen, and to their proud parents, Kurt and Jessica, and the minion of immediate family who joins us this morning, either in person or by Zoom from many different locations. We have people and family and friends joining us from California, from Georgia, New Jersey, Florida, Illinois, Hong Kong, and Indiana. I'd like to call your attention to our website where you may access virtual resources for this morning's service. We will be using Sidur Lev Shalem, which you may find there, as well as the Eitz Chaim text and Torah commentary for later during the service. We know that many of you would have wanted to attend this celebration in person, but given the requirements of social distancing and the limitations of travel, we are grateful for the virtual technology that brings us together. I'd like to extend special thanks to Shari Lip-Levine, our Executive Director, and Jackie Goldstein, our Communications Director, and to all our Beth-El staff for their technical assistance and for maintaining our facility above and beyond the necessary safety protocols. Beyond attention to these public health rules, we will overcome social distancing with the feelings of warmth and affection for Aiden and for Tyler and for their family on this morning of celebration. So Aiden and Tyler, enjoy this moment. It will zoom by all too quickly. Keep the memories and cherish the day. Shabbat Shalom and Mazal Tov. I'd like to invite you to turn to page 101 in the Lev Shalem prayer book. Cantor Cohen will introduce the service with the words of Matovu, expressing our joy at coming together for worship on this Shabbat.
Matovu, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkanotecha Yisrael. Matovu, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkanotecha Yisrael.
Our service continues on page 103 of the prayer book, and we invite our B'nai Mitzvah, Aiden and Tyler, to lead us in the Birchot HaShachar, the morning blessings of thanksgiving for the beginning of a new day. We invite our B'nai Mitzvah to remove their masks comfortably and to chant beginning on page 103.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lasvivina lechavim ben yom uven laila.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani b'tzalmo.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani ben horim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani Yisrael.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokei al-hivrim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam malbish harumim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zokef kefufim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam roka haaretz al hamayim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hameken mitzadei gever.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa li kol tzorki.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozer Yisrael b'gvuraha.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam oter Yisrael b'tif'ara.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hanoten le'af koach.
Amen. The morning blessings are an expression of gratitude for personal and social needs that are filled. And now we turn to page 122 in a prayer of thanksgiving for the universe in which we live. Baruch She'amar, page 122.
Baruch she'emar v'haya olam. Baruch hu. Baruch oseh bereshit. Baruch omer v'yoseh. Baruch gozer u'mkayim. Baruch merahem al haaretz. Baruch merahem al habriyot. Baruch meshalem sahar toli reyav. Baruch hayla az v'kayam lanetzach. Baruch rodeh u'matzil. Baruch Shemo.
Amen. I invite you to turn to page 148, and if you are able to rise at your seats, and Aiden and Tyler continue with the Hatzi Kaddish on page 148.
Yikata v'yikata shemei rabba ve'ama divera hirute ve'amlik malchute ve'ha'achon u'yomekon u'chayatecho be'Yisrael ba'agala u'zman hariv ve'imru
Amen.
Shemei Rabba Mevara Le'olam U'Hanaya Yitparah V'yishtaba V'yitpa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yithadar V'yitale V'yithalal Shmei Dekudesha Beriku Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechanata dahamihiran be'alma ve'imeru. Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai, sovereign of time and space, who forms light, creates darkness, and brings harmony to all creation. We remain standing through the Shema, the affirmation of faith, to which we turn now on page 155 and 56. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבביך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננת לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך, ובישערך והיה.
Remember then to observe my mitzvot and be holy unto your God. I am the eternal God who brought you out of the house of bondage to be your God. I, Adonai, am your God in truth.
אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Please be seated, and we turn to page 158. Continue with the words that Moses, Miriam, and the Israelites sang on their journey to freedom. Mi chamocha, page 158. I invite you once again, if you're able to rise, we turn to page 159 as we chant the first blessing of the Amidah and then continue with a period of silent prayer.
האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, מלך חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימות, ומביא גומר לבני בניהם, למען שמו ויעלה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני
From generation to generation, we declare your greatness and sanctify your name in words of holiness. Bottom of page 161, Ledor Vador.
Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Nagit Godel, Ulenetzach Netzachim, Ulenetzach Netzachim, Kedushatcha Nakadish, Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Nagit Godel, Ulenetzach Netzachim, Ulenetzach Netzachim, Kedushatcha Nakadish, V'shivchacha כי אל מלך גדול, כי אל מלך גדול, וקדוש אתה, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש. ברוך אתה אדוני,
We pause for a few moments of silent prayer. You may follow the words of tradition which continue in the prayer book through page 166, or you may use this time to offer the reflections and the meditations of your own heart. Grant peace to the world, goodness and blessing, grace, love, and compassion for us, for all the people Israel, and for all humanity. May it please you to bless your people Israel and all peoples at every season and at all times with your gift of shalom.
Shalom למרומיו, וישיא שלום עלינו, ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו ימרו עמים. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו, ועל כל ישראל, יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
I invite you to be seated for a few moments as we prepare to transition to the Torah service, during which time Aiden and Tyler will be chanting from the Torah as they are called up as B'nai Mitzvah. This morning's Torah reading is from the portion entitled Ki Tisa in the book of Exodus. Our B'nai Mitzvah have prepared a teaching that they will share with us a little bit later on the significance of these passages for them and the meaning of this day in their lives. If you would like another learning opportunity on this portion, we invite you to visit the Beth-El Facebook page, where you will find a video of Rabbi Jenny Greenspan's This Morning Torah Talk. As we are about to transition to the Torah service, I invite you to either take a copy of the Eitz Chaim Torah commentary or go to it in a few moments as we call the pages to it for the reading of this morning. At this point, please turn to page 168 for the introduction to the Torah service. And we
אין כמוך באלוהים אדוני, ואין כמעשיך. מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים, וממשלת
This is the Torah, Israel's covenant of truth and righteousness, transmitted through the long generations of our people, from Moses to the prophets, from rabbis to disciples, from parents to children, and from the people Israel to the world. On this Shabbat, Aiden and Tyler received the Torah as a token of their becoming B'nai Mitzvah.
Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Everybody say Gadol Adonai Iti, Udonai Shemo Yachem. Lech lecha, on the journey I will bless you. Lech lecha, on the place you do not know. Lech lecha, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lech lecha. I put on the talit.
I put on the talit as a reminder that I now become a responsible member of the Jewish people. Baruch atah Adonai Elokeinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu v'yidatef b'tzitzit.
Amen.
Put on the talit.
I put on the talit as a reminder that I now become a responsible member of the Jewish community. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu v'yidatef b'tzitzit.
Amen.
First of all, many thanks to the family and friends that are here with us today, to all those who have joined our celebration virtually on the modern miracle that is Zoom. Aiden and Tyler, like it or not, you were joined at the hip. Your mom and I heard you arguing before you were even born. You both, like myself before you, your grandparents before me, and their parents before them, have dedicated yourself to God. We can't see everyone today, but you should know you are surrounded by friends and family who love you and will always support you. Know Mom and I will always be here whenever you need us, and even when you don't think you need us or even want us. But today we are here to witness your commitment to God and the Jewish people and to celebrate with you. We watched you embrace the Torah, the cornerstone of our faith, with joy and comfort, knowing that you will strive to live by the values it teaches. From the day you were born, we intuitively knew that you were especially blessed by God, and we were right. You both have so many talents. You are both bright, creative, funny, and not just a bit mischievous. We hope you recognize, celebrate, and cherish these blessings to be used wisely and responsibly. Look to the Torah as inspiration and guidance as you face the daily joys and challenges of your life. Aiden, you have always been a determined person. It's a polite way of saying stubborn. We were trying to remember your first words. Mom thought it was Mama, I love you, but I'm pretty sure it was, no, I'm not going to do that. If you didn't want to do something, there was no changing your mind. While there are days that have been a little challenging to us as a parent, it's also something we admire about you. Use your stubbornness to never give up on your life aspirations. We know you want to ride dirt bikes and create computer games, but maybe you should consider being an attorney. Please don't ever stop being the voracious book reader that you are. The knowledge you have gained from these books has taught you so much, and you have taught us. Tyler was a rather difficult baby. We kept you in our room for months and months so that your crying would not keep your brother from his sleep. After several months, we'd had enough and put you two in the same room. You never cried at night again. They say twins have a special bond. Well, even as an infant, you had an incredible bond with Aiden. You've always had a huge heart. We remember when you were 8 years old and there was a neighborhood party. A new family with a son your age had just moved in that day, and you went and knocked on their door and invited them over without ever having met them. That boy is still great friends with you and your brother. Don't ever lose your sense of caring for other people. In closing, your mother and I are so proud of you and your efforts you have made to become bar mitzvah. It wasn't easy. It isn't supposed to be. Hebrew is a difficult language to learn. There were frustrations with difficult parts and joys when those parts were conquered. Sometimes anime and Minecraft would get in the way. But you have succeeded beautifully. You've become fine young Jewish men. Your mother and I love you so very, very much.
Why you gotta embarrass me like that, Sarah?
So yeah, come to your seats. Okay, we'll call you up in a few minutes, okay? Okay, so Mom and Dad.
We are going to turn now to the reading of the Torah. You will find the passages that will be chanted this morning beginning on page 529 in the Eitz Chaim Torah commentary. And for
And
the
Rabbi,
first,
they're also available on the Shabbat virtual resources on a one-click link if people are available to do that.
so you can shift from the prayer book to the resource of the Torah text, the Eitz Chaim. And for the first Aliyah, we are pleased to call on our B'nai Mitzvah's parents, Kurt and Jessica Cohen, beginning at chapter 31, verse 18.
Ya'amad Rishon.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayitein Moshe kechaloto ledaber ito behar Sinai shnei luchot ha'edut luchot even ketuvim be'etzba Elohim v'yahar ha'am ki voshesh Moshe leredet min ha'har vayikahel ha'am al Aaron vayomru elav kum aseh lanu Elohim asher yalchu lefanenu ki zeh Moshe ha'ish asher helanu me'eretz Mitzrayim lo yadanu mehaya lo ויאמר עליהם אהרון פרקו נזמי הזהב אשר באוזני נשיכם בניכם ובנותיכם והביאו אליו ויתפרקו כל העם את נזמי הזהב אשר באוזניהם ויביאו אל אהרון ויקח מידם ויצר אותו בחרת ויעשהו עגל מסכה ויאמרו אלה אלוהיך ישראל אשר העלוך מארץ מצרים וירא אהרון ויבן מזבח לפניו ויקרא אהרון ויאמר חג לאדוני מחר וישכימו ממחרת ויעלו עולות ויגישו שלמים וישב העם לאכול ושתו ויקומו לצחק.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu the Torah emet v'chayei olam natah b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Ya'amot sheni.
For the second Aliyah, we invite Aiden and Tyler's sister, Ava Cohen, and uncle, Brad Cohen. They will recite the blessings in honor also of grandmother Linda Cohen, who cannot join us this morning. The reading continues at verse 7 on page 531.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mechol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. וידבר אדוני אל משה לכרת כי שחט עמך אשר העלית מארץ מצרים סרו מהר מן הדרך אשר הציוויתי מסרו להם עגל מסכה וישתחוו לו ויספקו לו ויאמרו אלה אלוהיך ישראל אשר העלוך מארץ מצרים ויאמר אדוני אל משה ראיתי את העם הזה והנה עם כשעורף הוא ועתה הניחה לי ויחר אבי בהם ואכליהם ואעשה אותך לגוי גדול. ויקהל משה את פני אדוני אלוהיו ויאמר למה אדוני יקרבך בימיך אשר הוצאת מארץ מצרים בכוח גדול וביד חזקה למה יאמרו מצרים לאמור ברעה הוציאם להרוג אותם בהרים ולכלותם מעל פני האדמה שוב מחרון אפיך והנחם על הרעה לימיך זכור לאברהם ליצחק ולישראל עבדיך אשר נשבעת להם ותדבר עליהם הרבה את זרעכם ככוכבי השמיים בכל הארץ הזאת אשר אמרתי אתן לזרעכם ונחלו לעולם וינחם אדוני על הרע אשר דיבר לעשות לעמו וירד משה מן ההר ושני לוחות העדות בידו לוחות כתובים משני עבריהם מזה ומזה הם כתובים והלוחות מעשה אלוהים המה והמכתב מכתב אלוהים הוא חברות על הלוחות וישמע יהושע את כל העם ברואו יאמר אל משה כל מלחמה במחנה ויאמר אין כל ענות גבורה ואין כל ענות קלושה כל ענות אנוכי שומע ויהי כאשר קרא אל המחנה וירא את העגל ומחולות, ויקרא משה, וישלח מידן את הלוחות, וישבר אותם תחת ההר, ויקח את העגל אשר עשו, וישרוף באש, ויטחן עד אשר דק, וייזר על פני המים, וישק את בני ישראל.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'yahi olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
Ta'amot shlishi.
And for the third Aliyah, we invite Aunt Andrea Cohen to make sure that her Zoom mic is open, and she will recite the blessings in honor of great aunts and uncles Ron and Nancy Cohen, Mike, and Margie Bluestein. Continue at verse 21. So Andrea, whenever you're ready.
Sorry, it's a little garbled, so I can't hear what you're asking.
You're good. Ready to go with your blessing?
Just go with the blessing.
Okay. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayashkatvenis. Vayomer Moshe el Aharon, ma asa lecha amase ki heveta alav hatagadona. Vayomer Aharon, ali char af Adonai ata yadata et ha'am ki verahu. Vayomer li aselanu Elohim asher yelchu lefaninu ki zeh Moshe ha'ish asher ha'elanu me'eretz Mitzrayim lo yadanu mehayalo. Vayomar lahem lemi hisahav hitparaku vayitnu li v'yashlichehu va'esh vayetze ha'egel hazeh vayar Moshe etam ki paru ahu ki paro Aaron le shimatza bekamehem vayumod Moshe b'sha'ar hamachaneh vayomer mila Adonai elai v'yasfu elav kol b'nei Levi vayomer lahem kol amar Adonai Elohei Israel simu ish cherbo al yirecho ivri vashuvu misha'ar lasha'ar b'machaneh v'hirgu ish et achiv v'ish et re'ehu v'ish et kerovo v'ya'asu b'nei Levi kedavar Moshe v'yipol min ha'am v'yom ha'hu ki shloshet alfei ish Vayomer Moshe mil'u yedchem hayom l'Adonai ki ish bivno uv'achiv v'lateit alechem hayom bracha v'yehi mimachorat vayomer Moshe elham atem chatatem chatat gedola v'yata el Adonai ulai achapra v'ad chatatchem v'yashov Moshe el Adonai vayomar ana chata ha'am ha'sekata gedola v'ya'asu lahem Elohei zahav v'yata im tisha chatatam ve'im ayin machanina misifrecha asher katavta vayomer Adonai el Moshe mi asher katali emachenu misifri ve'ata lechnachem el asher dibarti lach hine malachi yelech lefanecha uvayom pokdi ufakditi alehem chatatam vayigof Adonai et ha'am al asher asu et ha'egel asher asa Aharon. And then the blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chai olam natan Torah Torato. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Thank you for joining us early from California, Aunt Andrea. Cantor will now set up the Torah scroll for the readings that Aiden and Tyler will be doing the Maftir. The closing reading is a special reading for the Shabbat, which derives its name from it. Shabbat is known as Shabbat Para because of the instructions concerning ritual purity that we will find in this section that the boys read. It's one of several special Shabbatot dealing with ritual purification issues in anticipation of Passover. We will find then the reading now on page 880 in the Eitz Chaim Torah commentary or in your virtual resources. And for the first Maftir, we invite Kurt and Jessica to join Aiden at the bima.
Ya'amod Tabachor Eliyahu ben Avraham v'Jessica bar Mitzvah Maftir Kahasak. Blessing first. Blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai. Baruch Adonai havarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher b'har banu mikol ha'amim. V'natam lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen.
Did I start with Torah?
Aiden, take your mask off so we can hear you better.
Vayedaber Adonai el Moshe ve'el Aharon lemor zot hukat haTorah asher tziva Adonai lemor daber el bnei Yisrael v'yikhu lecha hara aduma temima asher ein ba mum asher lo ela'a alecha o untatem ota el azar hakohen vehotzi ota el mihut lamahane Yeshahat ota lefanav.
Blessing after.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hagei olam nata betoheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen. The cantor will now invite Tyler to the chanting of the Maftir, page 880.
Ya'amod Tabachor Chaim ben Avraham v'Jessica bar Mitzvah Maftir Kahasak.
Baruch et Adonai havorach.
Baruch Adonai Mavorach, Le'olam Va'ed.
Wait, I think I missed the first line. Oh, Baruch Adonai havorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher b'har banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata betoheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen.
Okay, I'm gonna move this. Vayedaber Adonai el Moshe ve'el Aharon lemor zot hukat haTorah asher tziva Adonai lemor daber el bnei Yisrael v'yichu elecha para haduma temima Asher ein bamum, asher lo ala lecha ol. Untatem ota el Elazar hakohen bechotzi ota el michutz. I think I'm lost.
You're fine. El michutz lamachane.
Michutz lamachane.
B'shachit
Asha Cheta lefanav. Sorry. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet b'chayei olam nata b'telchenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Okay, now you can get ready for your Haftorah, okay?
I'd like to invite you to rise as the cantor lifts the Torah scroll in preparation to return it to the ark.
Bezot haTorah asher sam Moshe livnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai beyad Moshe. Torah, 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 tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 tziva lanu Moshe.
Please be seated. Tyler and Aiden now will share in the chanting of this Shabbat's Haftarah, the selection from the books of the prophets, in this case, the prophet Ezekiel. And you may follow as they chant from the Haftarah that begins on page 1288. They will be chanting beginning with verse 24 of chapter 36, page 1288 in Eitz Chaim, or in the virtual resources that you may access for this Shabbat morning. Special Haftarah for Shabbat Para.
Baruch atah. What? Oh, I'm sorry. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar b'nvi'im tovim v'rasa v'direchem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai Chavoher b'Torah u'Moshe avdo u'Yisrael amo u'b'nvi'ei ha'emet b'tzedek.
Amen.
Velakati ethem mihagolim v'kibatzti ethem mikol ha'aratzot v'heveti ethem el admathem v'zarakti alehem mayim tehorim utartem mikol tunotehem u'mikol gilulehem ataheretem v'natati lahem lev hadash v'ruach hadasha attain b'kirbehem v'hasiroti et lev ha'even mibzarhem v'natati lahem lev basar.
ואת רוחי אתן בקרבכם, ועשיתי את אשר בחוקי תלכו, ומשפטי תשמרו, ועשיתם, וישבתם בארץ אשר נתתי לאבותיכם, והייתם לי לעם. ואנוכי אהיה לכם לאלוהים, וידעו הגויים אשר יישארו סביבותיכם, כי אני אדוני בניתי הנהרסות, נתתי הנשמה. אני אדוני דיברתי ועשיתי.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzur ha'olamim tzadik b'kol hadoros ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer ve'oseh hamdaber u'mekayem shekol devorah mevatzedek. Ne'eman atahu Adonai Eloheinu v'ne'emanim devarecha v'davar echad mivarecha achor lo yashuv rekan ki el melech ne'eman v'rachaman atah. Baruch atah Adonai el hane'eman v'kol devareha.
Amen.
Amen.
Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al ha'nevi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha v'limilcha lehavod ultifaret. Al hakol Adonai Eloheinu אנחנו מודים לה ומברכים אותה. יתברך שמה בפי כל חי תמיד לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני
Baruch Shalom.
מקדש השבת.
Amen. Simen tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov u'simen tov. Simen tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov u'simen tov. Simen tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov u'simen tov.
Yeheilanu, Yeheilanu, Ulechol Yisrael. Yeheilanu, Yeheilanu, Ulechol Yisrael.
Simen tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov u'simen tov. Simen tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov u'simen tov. Simen tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov u'simen tov.
Mazel tov. We prepare to return the Torah scroll to the ark. We ask Sister Ava to join us again and open the doors of the Aron HaKodesh. Let us rise as the cantor returns the Torah scroll to the ark.
Hallelujah, Shem Adonai, ki nizkach shemo levado. Mitzrayim hi למחזיקים בה, ותומכם
Please be seated. We now have the pleasure of listening to each of the young men, Tyler and Aiden, share with us their personal thoughts about the meaning of this day in their lives and the Torah reading which they have shared with us. Tyler?
Okay. My Torah portion is Ki Tisah. It is about the early months after the Israelites left Egypt. They are in the desert getting the rule from God. Moses spends 40 days up on the mountain. While he is away, the people ask Aaron to build them a golden calf for them to worship. God gets upset that they build an idol and tells Moses that they will be destroyed. Something I find interesting in this portion is when Moses stands up to God to help the Israelites. Even if God was angry at them for building an idol, God shouldn't have threatened to wipe them out. Moses tells God not to destroy them. This took courage, or at least caring about the person you are standing up for, like if they are a good friend. It reminds me of a time in 4th grade when a classmate needed to go to the bathroom, but the teacher wouldn't let him leave and ended up calling him a crybaby. I told the teacher that he was being rude to my classmate. I ended up getting in trouble for this, but I was okay because it was important to stand up for people who need it. This Torah portion reminds us that we should always stand up for those who need it, even if sometimes we must stand up to a parent, teacher, or even God. Thank you to Rabbi Dennis. It has been a pleasure to get to know you. Thank you, Rabbi Jenny, for helping me with my speech. Thank you, Cantor Melissa, for teaching me the words and meaning of my maftir and for helping me prepare for my bar mitzvah. Thanks to Mr. Lincoln for teaching me the Hebrew I have learned and for the patience when I didn't practice as hard as I was supposed to each week. Thank you, George Kelly, and all the teachers at Sunday school for teaching me about what it means to be Jewish. Thank you, Grandma Linda, for all the love you have given me. I am sorry you could not be here with me today. Thank you, Ava, for being Ava. Yeah. And thank you to my dad for always being there for me when I needed it, for example, with my puzzles, and just being there in general. Thank you, Mom, for always being there for me as well whenever I needed you, especially with the food. And it is such an honor to have finally reached this date, and that I can now say I have become a bar mitzvah at Beth-El. I truly appreciate everyone who has helped me along the way, and I thank everyone who is sharing this moment with me, both here at the temple and virtually. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Take this?
My Torah portion, Ki Tisah, is about when the Israelites are first freed from slavery in Egypt and are out in the wilderness, and God gives them new rules. While Moses is getting the tablets with the rules from God, the Israelites build a golden calf and try to worship it. Moses gets upset and breaks the first tablets, and God has to come write another set. One of the rules that God gives is that every family should contribute 1/2 shekel of silver to help make the tabernacle. Something I find interesting in this portion is that every house must donate a small charity to the temple. It is interesting to me because it reminds me of how we still do this today when we pay our taxes. When everyone pays their serve taxes, then we have money to pay for roads, schools, parks, and libraries. If people don't contribute, then we don't have enough resources for these things. Putting in our share helps make things as fair as possible. Like one time I had a school project and I had to do it with partners, and someone else joined after me and my partner did most of the work, and he got credit for what we did. This felt unfair to the work that my original partner and I had done from the beginning. My tool reminds us that it is best when everyone puts in their fair share, whether in money of the half-check board and work like my school project. I would like to thank the following for helping me on my journeys. Rabbi Dennis, for your words of encouragement and making our temple such a wonderful place. To Rabbi Jenny, thank you for your ideas and guidance for my speech preparation. To Kent and Melissa, thank you for teaching me the words and meaning of my Mopshir portion and how to properly chant them. Thank you for teaching me Hebrew and all the prayers I need to learn for my bar mitzvah. Thank you for teaching me so much, to Mr. Lincoln, thank you for teaching me Hebrew and all the prayers I need to learn for my bar mitzvah. To George Kelly and the teachers at Sunday school, thank you for teaching me so much about Judaism. To Grandma Linda, thank you for your love and kindness. I really wish you could have been with us today. To my sister Ava for helping with determination. And finally to my mom and dad for teaching me so much about life, the meaning of hard work, and all the time you spent helping me become bar mitzvah.
Stand with your mom and dad on the other side of this table. Stand with the boys as you go. So Aiden and Tyler and Aiden, Tyler. I was thinking as you participated in the service both last night and this morning that the Torah is filled with examples of brothers who were either twins or pairs. We have from the very beginning Cain and Abel. We have Isaac and Ishmael. We had Jacob and Esau. And then Jacob had a big family and the brothers didn't get along. There are relational problems in each of these stories in the Bible until we get to the sons of Joseph. They're called Ephraim and Manasseh. And I don't know if you'll remember, but last night when we blessed the families and the congregation for our daughters, we said, may God make you like Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, who are our matriarchs. But for the sons, we did not say Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And the reason for that, say the rabbis, is that Ephraim and Manasseh, on behalf of whom we bless the community of Israel, were the first brothers that really got along and cared for one another in the Bible. So when we bless our families and our communities, we use their names as an example of what it means to be blessed. Your dad, in speaking to you on behalf of your mother, said that you were blessed by God as you came into the family. Well, in truth, in the Jewish tradition, we could say that through you and brothers like you, the community is blessed. So this is a special moment. It was a lot of fun to talk with the two of you and to discover how, as twins, you are in some ways so much alike, and yet so different from one another. I know that this moment is meaningful to your parents and grandmother and family, but it is also meaningful to the two of you. So we're delighted to celebrate with Jessica and Kurt, with your sister Ava, who stood on this bima just a couple of years ago, and we think of grandmother Linda, and we are glad that we can celebrate with close family in the congregation this morning and through Zoom. Aiden, you said that becoming a bar mitzvah was about coming of age as a Jew. And Tyler, you added that it was a step towards becoming an adult. I think you both appreciate that your parents are giving you more space to make your own decisions, whether it's choosing your own clothes, or I think one of you said making your own pizza. I was fascinated to find out that each of you have an Arnie's Pizza named after you. Understand that Ava has a salad named after her. You are each your own person. Tyler, you described yourself as creative, kind, and funny. You enjoy video, digital arts, and building Legos. Am I getting it right?
Yeah.
Good. Aiden,
Yes.
you think of yourself as more outdoorsy and interested in sports. You like watching dirt bike racing and anime, which I learned is a popular animation show. There was a big article about anime in the New York Times a couple of days after I spoke with you. So my culture was expanded. I have a feeling that even though you are different from one another, you really both like and respect one another. Cantor Melissa told me that she has enjoyed watching you interact with one another during rehearsals and helping each other during learning and practices. She said that when one of you would be on the wrong page or line or having trouble with the melody in Hebrew, the other would immediately come to the rescue and get you back on track, like Ephraim and Manasseh. You told me that being Jewish is important, not only to your families, but to you. Tyler, you said that Judaism requires of you more responsible effort, that it takes a lot of learning. And Aiden, for you, heart is at the family is at the heart of being Jewish. You told me that you especially like getting together with your cousins and family for Hanukkah. Well, your Torah portion this Shabbat, Ki Tisa, contains important lessons. Tyler, you spoke about the golden calf, which the Israelites built when Moses was delayed in coming down from Sinai. And it reminds us of the danger of putting material things ahead of what is most important, values and relationships. And Aiden, you spoke about the half shekel that the Israelites contributed towards the building of the community. And it reminded you that we all are half a shekel. We need other people to complete the sense of community. And so this Shabbat of your becoming B'nai Mitzvah is all about your taking your places in the community and taking on the values that really matter. Sharing, responsibility, making time, and spending time together. Aiden and Tyler, your parents love and appreciate each of you for the uniqueness that you are. They described one of you as compassionate and artistic, the other as logical and with strong opinions. I'll let you decide which is which. You are each your own person. You each bring your own half a shekel to make up a greater whole. So Tyler, whether you grow up to be a video game designer, or Aiden, whether you grow up to be an attorney, I know that in cultivating your different personalities and goals, you will remain not only loyal brothers, but good friends, growing separately and together to make our world a better place. We are very proud of you. Mazel tov, and enjoy the rest of the day and the wonderful memories that it will leave for you. We're proud of you. I'd like to offer a prayer of blessing as we move on to the end of the ceremony. And we say, Misheberach Avoteinu Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov ve'imotenu Sarah Rachel v'Leah. May God bless our ancestors. U'yevarech et Eliyahu ben Avraham ve'Jessica ve'et Chaim ben Avraham ve'Jessica. May God who blessed our ancestors bless you, Aiden, and you, Tyler, as you have entered this day in your Jewish life. May God, who has been with you from birth, continue to be with you in the years ahead. And may God continue to bless you in body and in spirit in the life that is ahead of you. May it be God's will that you continue to grow in health and in strength, in wisdom and in humility, in love and in loyalty, in faith and in courage, that you may ever be a joy to your parents, an honor to your people, a credit to your country, and true servants of God. Let us say Amen. I'd like to ask Mom and Dad to place their hands over you as I offer a blessing that we pronounced last night. And we say, Yesimcha Elohim kefriayim bechem Menashe. May God bless each of you, as God blessed Ephraim and Menashe. Yevarechecha Adonai veishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Yair Adonai panav elecha veichunecha. May God be gracious to you and show you kindness. Yisa Adonai panav elecha veyasem lecha ulecha. Shalom. May God bless you with a life of health, joys, and of peace. Mazel Tov. I'd like to invite Mom and Dad to take those packets, give one to each of you. Each of these backpacks contain the tools that you need for your Jewish journey. There is inside of there a prayer book and a Torah text, exactly as the ones that we have used on this Shabbat morning for our mitzvah celebration. There's a tzedakah box that you may continue to give of yourselves, and there's a Kiddush cup as well as a gift from Federation. These come to you from the synagogue, the rabbis and cantor, men's club, and sisterhood. And to close this moment, I ask you and your family to join me in the Shehecheyanu, the prayer for special occasions. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu v'kiyimanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. May God, who has caused us to reach this day, continue to bless you with health and with joys. Amen. You can give your parents a hug.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome, Tyler. It's my pleasure to bless both of you. Aiden and Tyler, you can come back here with Mom and Dad. And we are going to turn to the concluding moments of the service, asking you all to rise as we continue with Aleinu, page 205.
ככתוב בתורתך אדוני מלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
Turn to the words of the Mourner's Kaddish on page 207. We invite those who are mourners to remain standing. We honor the memories of those who have died in recent days and weeks, Nora Bernstein and David Goodman. We keep them in our hearts alongside those for whom we mourn and those the anniversary of whose death occurred during the last week. As in loving testimony to the faith that links to generations, those who mourn and all who remember join in the words of the Kaddish. Yitkadal veyitkadash shemei Rabbah. Ve'olma divra kir'uteh ve'yamlich malchuteh ve'chayeichon u'v'yomeichon ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם ולעולמי עולמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומן ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דא אמירן בעלמה, ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, בחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן. May God, the source of peace, grant peace and comfort to all who mourn, to the household of Israel, and to all humanity. And let us say amen. Amen. You may be seated, and it is my pleasure now to spotlight our officer, Dan Resnick, who will extend greetings on behalf of the board and the congregation.
Thank you, Rabbi, and good morning. On behalf of the board of directors and officers, it's my pleasure to welcome you to this morning's Shabbat services. First, Mazel Tov to our B'nai Mitzvah, Aiden and Tyler Cole. You guys did a great job this morning. It was so much fun being able to join you here this morning. I'd like to extend that Mazel Tov to your parents, Jessica Cole, and to your grandmother, Linda Silver Cole, as well as your entire family that was able to personally see God and join us via Zoom and live stream. I'd also like to remind everyone of Rabbi Dennis's Coffee Talk series that are on Sunday mornings at 10:30. Tomorrow's session will be a very interesting talk where Rabbi Dennis is going to be hosting Dr. Yisar Hess, and we're going to be talking about the state of Jewish pluralism in Israel and the role of reform and conservative movements. Dr. Hess is with the Consortium movement. He's the vice chairman of the World Zionist Organization. It should be a very engaging and lively discussion. Again, thank you all for joining us as we continue to present our virtual services and programs. It's a pleasure to see so many people joining us. We hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you for joining us and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Thank you, Dan. And Shabbat Shalom to everybody. And a special Mazel Tov to Aiden and to Tyler for participating so beautifully in services. We are proud of your becoming B'nai Mitzvah. Why don't you go stand with your parents, and we invite the family who would like to see people who are going to be greeting you at the end of the service, as we now turn to Adon Nolam, the closing song for the Shabbat. You may follow page 211 or on the virtual resources.
Adon olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nifla להתנוסף ארצו אזי מלך שמו נקרא בידו אף גידולי ביתי שם ביהירה ואמרו לי גבירתי אדוני ולא יירא.
Shabbat Shalom. And make sure that you extend your good wishes and Mazel Tov to our B'nai Mitzvah from your Zoom cameras.
Mazel Tov, guys.
Everybody. Thanks for joining.
Thanks. Shalom.
So proud of you guys.
Thank you.
Proud of you. You did great.
Thank you.
Awesome.
You did it.
We did.
For 2 o'clock, Brad?
What's that?
Is that for 2 o'clock?
2 o'clock. Yep. No bunny ears here.
Is there going to be 2 teams that show up?
Thank you, everybody, for watching.
We
We wish you
Love
could
you
have been
too.
here.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Oh, hugs, hugs, hugs. Thank you.
Thank you.